right, Miss Mighty Mouse. How are we all? Are we all enjoying the show? Come on, Brisbane, you were awesome yesterday, so I'm hoping today's audience is just the same. Okay, so first up this morning, I'm going to go through some of the little secrets of training your dog. Now, I'm assuming there's a lot of people here that have their own dog. Are we dog people? Yeah! Oh, yes. Are we cat people? Okay, well, let you in on a little secret. I train cats as well, so I love cats as well as dogs. Okay, so first up, what I'm going to go through is some of the basics. So first of all, if we're going to have a dog work with us, we need to have what they want to work for. So in my bag here, I have a little bait bag, and that frees up my hands for our training. So in my bag, I actually have diced up leftover lamb. So what do you think, Mighty Mouse? Oh, she says, that's nice. Was that good? That was good. So we need what the dog wants for a reward. So that's the first thing. Get ourselves a bait bag, make sure we've got what they want, and then let's look at the basics of what we want to teach our dogs. This is Mighty Mouse. She's pretty new to the team. She's just 12 months of age and she's doing so well. As you can see, she's keeping a really close eye on me because I've made myself really valuable. So because I'm so valuable, she's prepared to hang out with me. So because she's prepared to hang out, this starts some of our training, even things like a recall. And he's very excited. Trick likes to encourage everybody along. The dogs like encouragement. So I become quite valuable, which means that this makes our training so much easier. Now, the first thing I like to teach for most of us is how to sit, and we've all probably got a good idea of this, but if we bring our dog, I'll bring her down here, if she's in a stand there, if I put a treat in my hand, take it above her head, her bum is going to go to the ground. So I can eventually start saying sit as I do this, and she will sit. So sit is one that we like to teach all dogs because it is very useful. Now the next thing that I like to teach them, and she's showing off her good skill here, and that's how to get onto something and stay there. So how we use this in the big wide world is I can now go to a cafe, put down a little blanket for her, and I know that she's going to be happy to stay there. At home, it means that I can actually ask her to go to her bed and she'll stay on her bed. So this is a really useful behaviour. I didn't drop it, sweetheart. This is a really useful behaviour that I like to teach them all from very young. And then you can see the older boys kind of showing us how it goes from there. So that's kind of some of the basics we want to start with. But we all want to teach tricks, yeah? Do you like teaching tricks? Yeah. What do I love about teaching tricks? And I teach lots of tricks. I love teaching tricks because it makes us all smile. And this is so much fun. We love it. So let's have a look at some of the easy tricks that we teach our really young dogs. The very first one is how to spin. This is easy. I just put a treat in my hand on her nose and I lure her around. So this is one that you guys can be doing at home very easily. It's nice on their body, so it's not going to harm a young dog's body either, and it's nice and easy for them. Around, and we do both directions with the dogs so that they can do that. So it's a nice easy one for us to start with. The other one that I say, I think all dogs need to know how to shake hands. Do you agree? And the reason I say that is because many, many years ago, I had a 5-year-old boy tell me that your dog is dumb if it can't shake hands. Now, I believe all 5-year-old boys. So we need to be able to shake hands. Now, how do we teach this? The easiest way to teach a dog to shake hands is get a really smelly, yummy treat in your hand. If you bring that towards them at about that level, they will bring a paw up to see if they can get it out of your hand. So that's the easy cheats way of getting your dog started on shaking paws. See, she says, I like this job. Hey, this is excellent. Okay, Miss Mighty Mouse. Now, Mighty Mouse, I think, has done very well. I'd like you to give her a clap because we're going to pop Mighty Mouse away. You are awesome, Mighty Mouse. She's very well named, my Mighty. Okay, Miss Mighty, you can go over to Rob for a second. Look, there's a treat on the ground. Okay, so let's move on to some of the other dogs. This is Dart. Dart is a 9-year-old girl, and she came all the way from Germany to us. Pretty lucky, aren't I? Yeah. So she came out when she was 12 months of age and she was allowed to fly. So a very big journey, and she's been with us now for 8 years, and she's a gorgeous girl. So what we're going to do is show a couple of other tricks that we can be teaching to go on from using paws. So Mighty showed us the very basics of starting to use paws. Now we're going to show you a few other things that we can do. So we can do one paw, which is where we were heading with Mighty, and we can do the other paw. So we've got each paw individually. Then we can start to put this together to make lots of other tricks. What about a high 10? Can you sit for me? Don't show off. Can I have both paws? So we can do both paws. So now I've got a high 10. Come up here, girlie. Sit. Can I have both paws? Good girl. So we call that a high 10. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And what I love about teaching paws is now we get a whole lot of other tricks that we can build on. So we can build from the high 10 to the sit pretty. So that was just a high 10 that is now turned into a sit pretty. Sit. Can you pretty for me? Sit. Don't show off. No showing off. She's like, and how about I make this even more fancy by going up on my hind legs? And she's got great balance. So it doesn't, what I say to people, when I'm teaching tricks to dogs, I kind of look for their strong points and we kind of work out what they like, because like each of us, we'll have different things that we enjoy doing. And sitting pretty is something she really loved from an early age. So we utilize this. We work with each dog's strengths. And that's what I love about tricks, is if one dog is struggling with a trick, we can dump that and pick another one to work on. We can come back to that one if we want to later. Okay, so after we have our sit pretty, now we can also do something that we call hide your face or say your prayers. She puts her paws up on my arm and then hide your face. It's pretty cute. It's much cuter for you guys than it is for my arm. Just saying. So what we do is we just lure their head under to start with, and then eventually we get it on cue, where we hide your face. Good girl. Okay. As I said, much better for you guys than my poor arm. So you can see where using your paws just can be built on and built on and built on. What other one did I did have one other one for you. This one's a little bit more complex, so this isn't one that's going to be easy to teach, but here we go. Stay there. Can you hide your face? Good girl. That's what happens when you're naughty, I tell her. You have to hide your face. Stay there, sit. Hide your face. Hide your face again. Good girl. She says that's what happens when you're naughty. You're not naughty very often though, are you? Okay. So what's another one? I'm giving you guys so many different ones to go home and you can work through and see what you like to play with. The next one is how to get our dogs to weave between our legs. So I'll show you what it looks like and then I'll show you how we teach it. Are you ready, Miss Dart? Okay, Miss Dart, are you ready? Miss Dart, through. Good girl. In, Dart. Not on there. No, you don't need to show off on there. In. Good girl. In. Whoa, Dart, Dart, Dart. She's like, how about I come away from the stool? She's like, how about I show you how I use my back legs on stools? In. Good girl, Dart, in. It's slippery up here, Dart. In. She says, it's slippery. Good girl, Dart. What are you doing? You're going backwards with your hind legs, doing weird stuff. Thank you. Okay, she's trying to make it more fancy. She wants to walk backwards as well. Okay, so how do we do this? This is nice and easy. We lure the dog beside our leg, and then we lure them onto our other side. We don't do any forward movement until we've got this happening well. Lure her beside, and then lure her through your legs. Good. Lure her through and reward. Once dogs are used to following a treat for you, this all gets easier and easier. And then, oh, Trick found a feather. He's just checking out the feather. He's like, that might have been edible, you never know. And I love it. You guys give it all away. He's like, I'll just sneak down, check out this feather, and get back and she'll never know. And then I look at you guys and go, right, what are you doing? I love it, I love it. So that's a nice, cool one. Just make sure you don't fall over, guys. Once you start moving, that gets a little trickier. But it's a nice, cool one to play with. Now the only other one I want to show you with Dart is roll over. Who's taught their dog to roll over? Yeah, it's cool. Roll over is a really fun trick to show off. One thing we need to think about is it can be a little daunting for the dogs when we first start to teach them, because as they're going over, they actually lose their balance for a short period of time. So we need to take this slowly. How do we do it? Down on the ground we go. You've got to love dog training. We get down on the ground, we lure their head around to the side and get them used to just turning their head before we even take them to the roll over. So we get them nice and comfortable. They need their legs out to the side, their back legs out to the side, before we can start to take them over onto their side, before we then attempt to go the whole way. Can you see when they lose their balance? About there. So you can scare some dogs doing this, so you need to take it really slowly. So how it's going to look is all the way over like that. But I say to people, spend a bit of time just getting them comfortable, just turning their heads to the side, okay, before you take them the whole way. We always want our dogs to be comfortable with what we're doing. We never want to scare them at any point. So that's the roll over. Okay, I think we're going to put Dart away, and we're going to bring out one of the others. So please give Dart a big round of applause, because she works really hard. Our German girl. Okay, Dart. You can be over there. Okay, can you see a bit of competition happening here? Can you see? What I love about this, the dogs love